Alright, so now we'll work on cart badge. We'll show the number of items in the cart in the tab bar. Okay. For this, first we need to have a centralized place where we will store the items in the cart. Okay, because we are adding the items using this cart button component, but we want to display the item count in this tab bar. So these are two totally different components. There is no direct relation between these two components, right? So for this, in this project, I am going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it services. Inside this services, inside this, we are going to create a class cart service. Cart service. This is in .NET MAUI project only. Okay, so public class cart service. Now inside this, we are going to store some things. So first, we are going to store current items in the cart. Okay, so we can say list of, for now let's have product DTO, we'll say items. All right, and then we need to have some count. So we'll see what else we need to add. We'll add those later, but right now we'll just have this thing. So public int count, and we can actually get it computed from items.count. And for this list of items, we can have simply empty array as a default value. Now whenever we are adding items to this cart service, we should not be we should not have it public setter. Let's have private setter, so that this class will add items to this items. Okay, so using that we can control this thing or any other thing if we want to. We will need something where we are going to create a method public void, let's say cart service dot add item. We are going to have product DTO, and here we'll say items dot add this item. All right, now we should check if we already have this item in the cart, right? Or we should call this add items. Let me think. Maybe let's do this. Instead of add item, we can say, yeah, let's have add item only. I'm just trying to think, and then we'll have one more. Now this should not be remove item, because when we are pressing the minus button, it should decrease the quantity, right? So let's say decrease quantity. We are using one by one, so we'll just have this product item, and instead of add item, let's call it increase quantity. Increase quantity and decrease quantity. So in this, first we will check if we already have this item here. Do we need these things? Maybe we will need these things later when we'll work on SQLite database to store all these items, right? Right now we are concerned about this count only, nothing else, right? So let's do this. uh, if we go to our cart button, component shared cart button, here what we are doing, we are directly modifying quantity on this product. After doing this thing, we should come here and we should simply add that item. Maybe we can simply call these methods directly, and we'll simply manipulate count here for now, and later we'll work on other stuff. So this count, I don't think this should be this items dot count. This should be the number of items, right? This will depend how you are planning to do it. Maybe let's say I have added 3 items. Do you want to show 3, or do you want to show, let's say for one item I have added 5 quantity, so you want to show 7? So this is totally up to you. So let's use the second approach, that let's say for first product we have added 3 quantity, for second product we have added 5 quantity. So it should show 8 items in the that cart badge. This is how I'm going to do it. So for this public int, we'll say get set, and set is going to be private. Alright, now here when we are saying increase quantity, this time whatever count we have, we are going to simply say plus plus. So right now we are just having 1 by 1, and for decrease quantity we'll simply say count minus minus. This is a basic simplest form. We'll modify it later. Okay, we'll handle all those things that we already have this item in the cart, then what needs to be done. If we don't have it in the cart, then what needs to be done, and all those stuff we'll do these later. For now, this is our simplest, easiest form. Okay, right now we are not using this one, we'll use it later. One thing what we can do, maybe we can simply have public string, let's say count display or display count. Let's say count display. Here we can simply say if count is maybe less than 100, then we'll simply say count. If that's not the case, we'll simply say 99 plus. Then let's quickly register this cart service as a singleton in our MAUI program.cs. Okay, so we are here, we'll simply say builder.services.add singleton, because we need only single instance of this service throughout our application. Alright, cart service. Now what we'll do, we'll go to our cart button, we'll inject this cart service, inject cart service. Let's add this using statement to our imports.razor. Now we have cart service here. Now whenever we are increasing decreasing quantity, what we'll do, increment, we'll simply say cart service dot increase quantity, and for decrease, here we'll say cart service dot decrease quantity product. We are done. Now we'll quickly go to our tab bar. Here we need to add that with this cart. When we are here, menu items, we have these things, these tab bar items here. In here we need to somehow check when we are in the cart tab. So here we'll say if menu.url equals page urls dot page routes dot cart. If this is the case, here we need to have something. Before that, let's go to our shared and let's create one more Razor component here. We'll call it, let's say, cart badge. Okay, and we'll render that cart badge here. Cart badge. Alright, so inside this also we are going to inject our cart service. We have cart service. Here, let's see what we need to have. We will have, let's say, one label or span, something like this only. So label, we'll say class. We'll add some styling to this. But this should be here only if our cart service dot count is greater than 0. This is 0, then we will not render anything. Okay. Now with this label, or we can simply have a simple span. On this, we are going to have some styling. Let's say badge. Basically, we'll have BG app dark or lighter. Let's say BG app light. Then we'll have our text white inside this. And let's have a fixed height and width. So for this, we'll say tab bar badge. We'll call this. Copy this. Let's add a style here. So we'll add something here. After that, we'll go to the browser and we'll try to modify it from there. Okay. So let's have it something like height 15 pixel, width 15 pixel, and position we need it as absolute so that it goes to the top right. We want it to move to top right. So we'll say top 0, right 0. Then we'll try to move it. Then let's have a font size that also we'll see there. Right. Save it, and here inside this span we are going to display cart service dot count display. Save it. Now we are updating this count display from our cart button. We are clicking the button, then it goes to this increase decrease quantity. It is getting updated, but our cart badge, it will not get notified when this is changing. It should re-render. For this, we need a mechanism by which whenever we are adding the item or removing the item from cart service, it should notify, and this cart badge, it will be a subscriber for that. So it should re-render in that case. Okay. What we'll do in our cart service only, we are going to have event, or we can say simply public event action, and we can have action without any parameter because we can directly access count and count display, so we are good. Here we'll say on cart item change, not on, just cart item changed, like this, nullable. And whenever we are increasing or decreasing cart count change, let's say cart count change. Here we'll say cart count changed question mark dot invoke. Same thing we'll do when we are decreasing the quantity. Then we are here in cart service. Here we'll say override on initialized. Then we'll say cart service dot cart count changed plus equals on cart count changed. Then we'll just define this private method here, private void cart count changed. Inside this, we'll simply say invoke async state has changed. We'll explicitly ask this component to re-render so that it shows the updated count display. And whenever we add any event handler, we should remove that as well. This component should implement the implements I disposable, and then we'll have public void dispose, and inside this we are going to do the opposite of this thing. On initialize, here we are adding, now we'll simply remove, so minus equals, save everything. Now I guess we should be good. Let's quickly try it out, then we'll see, try to design it in the browser. Let's wait for it to run. Alright, app is here. Let's try to add item to this. I'm adding it and I can see this one here. You see this two here. It is not here. The problem is our discard badge. it is tab bar badge. Where it is? This is position absolute, and the parent. What is the parent? So if we go to our tab bar, here we are having this here, but it should be inside this div. Save it. Then what else we need? So this thing, we let's try to make it rounded and then move this text to the center. Okay, let's quickly do this. Then we'll rerun it and we'll try to design it again. So card badge, top 0, right 0, this is fine. We'll say border radius, we can say 50 to make it perfect, uh, perfect circle. Then height is this. We can have maybe a smaller font size of maybe 8 pixel. Save it. Let's try to rerun. Okay, app is here. Let's try now. Now again, we have it here only. Let's quickly open the browser console. Okay, so here, if we see this thing, when we have position absolute, so it goes directly to the page, the body, wherever we set it, or to the parent which has position relative. So if we want position absolute within some item, the parent must be position relative. So we want this thing with this cart. So this cart item where we have this in here. So this section should have position relative. Position relative. Now we have it here. You see? The position relative, we'll add it on tab bar item. After that, if we come to this tab bar badge, right now we are here. So top, we will not have 0. We'll have some -5. Let's say what do we have in -5. We can have it here. Let's say -10. Same thing for right. We want it to move slightly to the right side. Let's have this here as well. It looks at the correct place, but we cannot see the text in here. So the font size 8px, let's make it bigger. Then let's say text align at center. And now we can see this. On my physical device, I can see it clearly, but here maybe because this is very small, let's try to make it a bit bigger. So 18, and let's increase the font size as well, maybe 12. But let's quickly see if we have 2-digit number, then how would it look? So this is with this, let's say we have maximum 99 plus, right? So we'll see this is not looking that good. Let's try to decrease the font size. Let's make it 11 or maybe 10, no, 11, 12 px. Let's try to increase the height and width. So we'll say 20 and 20, and font size 10 pixel. Let's try moving it to a bit downward. Let's try to set line height to the height of this box. Okay, I think we are good. So on mobile device, it is looking nice. Then we can simply do this. So we have the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 17, 18. We can see the count decreasing as well. You see, and it is quite smooth. So we are good. First thing, we need to add position relative on tab bar item. And then on this one, we need this styling. So let's copy entire thing, this tab bar badge CSS. And let's open our Visual Studio. Let's paste this. Then in tab bar badge, tab bar item. Here we are going to add position relative class. Save it and we are good. Let's stop. Now let's move this styling to its cartbatch.razor.cs file. We'll say cartbatch.razor.css and let's paste it here. We can remove it from here now. Cart button is fine, cart badge is fine, tab bar badge. Okay, on home page, yeah, from home page we need to move this style to home.razor.css. Let's move this as well. Home.razor.css and cut this styling img container product img and add it to the css and remove this style. Save everything. Looks like we are good. Let's quickly run it one more time to just see if everything still works fine. And then we'll move to the next piece. Okay, we are here. Let's try to add items. Yes, we can see it. Decrease the quantity. And when we'll go to 0, that got removed from here. See? So we are good now. We'll try to add, increase the quantity, decrease the quantity, and everything works fine. So we are done with our cart badge as well. Now we'll see what next. Next, let's work on the cart page itself. Okay, so when we'll tap on this cart page, we should see list of these cart items, right? Okay, so that will work next.